There are choices that we make that define us, and there are moments that we hope never will. I'm here today to speak about choices and to give you a tool that will open up new access to choices, and also to share something I like to call Jedi Listening. My passion for story brought me to become a speaker, a coach, and a film producer. And I was 10 years old when I first heard what I'm guessing was my inner voice say to me, go to Los Angeles. Now, mind you, I was born and raised in Italy. I didn't even know where Los Angeles was, frankly, at the time, in a movie somewhere. But for some reason, I chose to listen to that voice. And for today, when I was preparing for talking about this impact of choice on our theme of living a life of purpose, I had gathered all these cool, great stories designed to inspire you actually to make a difference in how to make choices when it's easy to make choices, but also how to make choices when it's difficult to make choices. And yet there was one story that I kept leaving out that was asking to be told. And that story woke me up a couple of weeks ago at about 5 a.m., and I started to write it down furiously. And that was telling for me because, well, number one, I'm not an early riser. And number two, I'm not one of those writers that gets hit by inspiration and starts writing. But even after I was done writing that story, I was resisting telling it because I didn't want anyone to think, oh, poor girl, you had to go through all that, or that maybe you might think I was weak or fragile. And we know the difference. There's a difference between being weak and being vulnerable, yes. But I was still resisting the story. And so I'm going to open up with you, hopefully because it might be a gift for you in some way or an inspiration for something in your life, something that may have happened in the past. And I'm going to open up about something that happened 22 years ago that up until this week, only about 10 people knew about. And when I shared it with my family this week for the first time in 22 years, it was a challenge for me because I wanted to protect them from any unnecessary pain. And then I went, okay, well, pain is inevitable, suffering is unnecessary, but still, you know how sometimes you want to protect others from hurt, even at the cost of your own self-expression. So cut to 1990, it's now this summer, I'm 18 years old, I've just moved to America, I'm living the dream, I'm starting college, and like all college freshmen, I'm finding ways to adjust and looking for ways to fit in, but I'm one of those kids who doesn't enjoy alcohol, so I feel like a bit of a fish out of water when my dorm mates are enjoying drinking. And one evening, I find myself in the dorm room of a new friend that I just made, who, like me, is also an international student from Europe. And before I can comprehend what is going on, even after repeatedly saying no, he date rapes me. And in that moment, I kept repeating to myself, you will be safe soon. Do not put up a bigger fight because it's only going to get worse. You will be safe soon. And maybe perhaps because of the cultural differences, and I haven't yet learned the whole campus police role, or maybe because I don't know how my family could possibly help me from so far away, and possibly because I don't want anyone to say to me, what did you get yourself into? And most certainly because I don't want anyone to take away my dream for just having moved to this country. I never reported the rape. And I remember on the walk back to my dorm, in the shock and the disbelief, I kept thinking to myself, you're not a victim. You can never let this happen again. From now on, you gotta make choices that keep you safe. This can never happen again. So I put it under the rug and I said, never again. There are choices that we make that define us, and there are moments that we hope never will. And in that moment, I made a choice to take control of it, not knowing how much I was actually letting that moment define my path. See, it was probably just a couple of years ago, actually, that I realized how much I was still letting that moment limit me in some way. I thought I'd handled it, but in truth, I'd really just stuffed it, shut down, chosen to stay safe. I became more reserved and still friendly, but less bubbly, and little by little, I gained 40 pounds because I now subconsciously was equating being healthy and fit with being in danger. And even as I started to work on losing the weight and I would start getting compliments as I was getting closer to my goal, instead of being happy about it, an internal red flag would go up and the whole self-sabotage would begin again and I would regain the weight. As I was eating healthy and exercising, I was still not letting go of the extra protection. And I didn't understand why I kept repeating a pattern that didn't serve me, not knowing that I had now equated being healthy and fit with being in danger. Cut to now 2010, when my dog actually helps me heal something that I thought I had already handled. He's got a skin condition that the vets can't quite figure out. So we're in Los Angeles, I choose to take him to a healer, right? One of those Indian guru type of guys. And he is working on him, and when he's done working on him, he says, "How about you?" I'm like, "Me? I'm here for him. I'm doing fine. I'm living the dream. I'm here in Los Angeles. My clients are amazing. I'm loving my life." And he says, "What trauma have you had in your life?" And immediately what I thought was handled comes to surprise me. And the memories of the rape, I hadn't thought about it for decades. It just flashes up to surprise me, and it stays with me for days. So much so that I chose to do something different instead of bearing it again. See, choice is easy when it's easy. Choice is even more crucial when we don't like the alternatives, because it gets us to look even deeper. And as I started to talk about it with a couple of my close girlfriends, I realized that I had put on the extra weight as a form of protection. That way I thought I could still be friendly, but, hopefully fend off most of those unwelcomed come-ons. And what I've noticed about choice is that we're either expanding or contracting. We're either living on purpose or we are shrinking away. And our choices have a direct impact on that. Our choices help us manage our purpose. They either give us energy or they drain us. And yes, we've all heard it. We gotta do what we love, and fine. And we gotta watch out for choices that bring us to betraying ourselves. Sometimes we make choices in the face of being ridiculed. As a teenager, I taught myself English listening to Madonna songs. I was singing along, looking up the words, preach, what does that mean? And I remember even joking with my friends, saying one day I'll get to thank Madonna for teaching me English. And I had great grades as a result of it, but I was facing the ridicule of my friends that were saying, "You've got an American accent." And finally, when I came to this country, I felt right at home. See, I came to this country when I was 18 years old with zero family here. And at times it felt lonely, yes, but I knew I'd come here for a specific purpose. I knew that I wanted to tell stories that make people laugh, that make people cry, that make people think, and that hopefully make people even take inspired action. And I knew I'd chosen to do it here in Los Angeles. So actually, I want to show you one of the stories that I've told most recently, and it's a film about making choices. And it's something, I love to use film because it's such a universal language. So here, a couple of minutes, let's watch it together.
When I grow up, I want to be...
When I grow up, I want to be...
I want to be
a lawyer. I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a professional football player.
Besides an astronaut?
I just,
That's a great question.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be an architect.
I'd like to be a pop star.
We want to be a family.
We want to be a family.
A big family.
I want to be magical. I don't really know. I want to be an artist, a human instructor,
A veterinarian.
I want to be a lot of things.
I want to love. I want to enjoy.
Authentic.
Healthy, happy, and successful.
Peace. Paz.
I want to be funny.
I want to make people laugh.
Jedi Knight.
I want to be tough.
I want to be strong.
You probably want to be an engineer.
I want to work for the federal government.
That way, you can build whatever you want.
In the moment.
Our world to be more eco-friendly.
Voglio fare la differenza.
I don't know. I haven't found it yet. I'm still searching.
The future is unlimited.
I want to be me. I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
I want to be me.
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 Quiero ser yo misma.
I want to be me.
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 What else do you want to be? Do you want to be smart?
Well, not really.
We should keep that for sure.
So Lauren Selman, the amazing award-winning director of I Want to Be Me, is here in the audience today, and I want to thank you, Lauren, for allowing me to produce your work, because your creativity and your purpose are such a gift. And I love that quote at the end of I Want to Be Me. What I want to be, I already am. See, Lauren and I were inspired by this really amazing documentary called I Am. And about a couple of weeks after shooting I Want to Be Me, I received an amazing invitation to go speak in Tanzania. And when I was there, I got the opportunity to volunteer with the Maasai tribes not far from Mount Kilimanjaro. And I asked their kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Maria, one of the little girls, summed it up beautifully. She said, I want to be Maasai. Their version of I want to be me. What do you want to be when you grow up? See, that's one of our first key conscious choices that we bring ourselves to. How do we get to be ourselves? How do we get to live a life of purpose? How do we get to live a life that we love? First, we choose it. And yes, sometimes it feels like we have no choices, or rather, of the choices in front of us, we don't like any of the options. But choice is always there, even if it takes us a while to find it. You know, I like to say you can either be a leaf in the wind, or you can be the wind. And through the years, you know, especially as the doors would close, and believe you me, many doors did close, my mantra became just follow the yeses, just keep following the yeses. And it's, yes, 10% what happens, 90% how we respond to it. We've all heard that. And we all know that we have more choices than we acknowledge sometimes. If we want different results, we simply got to make different choices, which is why I want to give you today a very simple tool that will help you make those different choices. I call it the Sks Factor. And Sks stands for stop, keep, and start. You can apply it to any area of your life. So think of an area of your life where you might be having a bit of a challenge right now. And just simply ask yourself, what is one thing that I can stop doing in this area right now? What is one thing that I can keep doing in this area right now? And what is one thing that I can start doing in this area right now? See, it wasn't applying the Sks factor to the areas of fitness and finances 2 years ago that I lost the extra 40 pounds and then doubled my business. And here's a key, a really golden key that I want to pass on to you. This is a question that brought me to create what I like to call the Jedi Listening. I was about 12 years ago in a room very much like this one. Lots of great people, open to making a difference and being inspired. And I was there checking out a seminar just to see if I wanted to take it or not. A 6-month program, sounded great. And then the speaker at one point said, if you would like to register for the program, this would be the good time to do it. And if you have any questions, this would be a good time to do it as well. And her voice sounded like nails on chalkboard to me. So I raised my hand. And I said, I don't really have a question. I have a concern. The promises of the course sound great. Everything you just said, fantastic. I mean, even the timing couldn't be better for me. My concern is I cannot stand the sound of your voice. And I'm not sure I'm going to last the 6 months. I'm not sure I'm even going to get any value. You could hear a pin drop. I was in my 20s, so I wasn't as diplomatic as I'm now in my 40s, but she said something to me at that time that was so simple yet so profound that it made such a difference for me in that moment and really helped me through these last 12 years, so I want to pass it on to you. She said, what if you could listen to everyone the same way you listen to your best friend? What if you could listen to everyone the same way you listen to your best friend? So I signed up for the 6 months program, and I got over the whole thing about her voice, of course. And what I created was something that I like to call Jedi Listening. And it goes something like this. So imagine someone just shares something, right, an opinion, and maybe you don't agree with it, or maybe their voice is like their accent or whatever, or maybe they've expressed it in a way that's not as effective. You know how sometimes people will communicate through complaints. And then imagine a telescope lens, and then imagine that you're pulling the lens all the way back, and then see if you can hear behind the opinion that you may not agree with, behind the crazy accent, behind how they've expressed it, and see if you can hear their visions, their passions, their dreams, their aspirations, their values. See, oftentimes we can hear someone's commitment inside of their disappointment, someone's integrity inside of their complaint. When people complain, sometimes it just turns us off. You know, we just want to walk away, or we try to make it better or fix it in some way. But what if we could listen to them and really hear what they're really saying? What if we could listen to them the same way we listen to our best friend? Yes, you'll find opposition. You'll find all kinds of people who try to fix it or change you, or maybe even have you play small just so they can feel safer. You might even find your own impetus to avoid failure. But so what if you fail? You know, you can beat yourself up, or you can beat your results next time. It's the same expenditures of calories and energy, I promise you. It's just completely up to you to decide and choose which one empowers you, which one is congruent with your vision, with your passions, with your life's purpose. It's a choice. It's always a choice, even when it looks or feels like there is no choice. Look deeper. Find that Sks Factor, and remember, you can either be a leaf in the wind, or you can be the wind. My purpose is to live, to learn, and to empower. And I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share it with you today. And I invite you to go put on those Jedi listening skills, you know, and go be you, because the world needs you. Thank you. Thank you.